Let's play! News and Review Edmonton. The news you want, when you want it. Today's issue, the Chechen War. We now join Jose, already on location, in Chechnya.
I'm here on the scene in Chechnya with a population of 1 million. Come here, sir. What are your people fighting for?
We are fighting for our independence.
And who are your people fighting against?
We're fighting against the Russians.
Thank you much. Now back to Connor.
As for the weather in Chechnya, it looks cloudy with a chance of independence.
Thanks to Connor for the weather.
The people of Chechnya are looking for self-determination. What is self-determination? Well, it's the process in which a country forms its own alliances and government. It's essentially the right of a country to determine its own destiny. It's what enables a country to choose its own political status and also determine its own form of economic, cultural, and social development. Now over to Tanner, who's going to discuss the historical background regarding Chechnya.
From 1824 to 1859, Russian Tsar Nicholas I and Caucasian leader Lam Shmil fought a bloody war, and with the result of the Russians occupying and overpowering the Caucasians, only because of their large numbers. During the time of the Communist Revolution of 1917, Dagestan, which included Chechnya at the time, declared its independence as a North Caucasian republic. However, shortly after 1919, the anti-Bolshevik forces conquered the North Caucasian Republic. With so saying, the North Caucasian Republic wasn't fully conquered for 6 years, and when the independence fully ended in 1923, the republic was divided into 3 parts within the Russian Confederation: Dagestan, Chechnya, and Ingushetia. Less than a generation later, in 1944, almost the entire Chechen nation was exiled to Kazakhstan on suspicion of support of the invading German army. This resulted in huge death tolls. As a result, almost 30% of Chechens died. Even with all this occurring, Chechens did not back down and stood proud for their desire for self-determination. In 1957, the Chechen English Republic was reconstituted. To this day, the status of the region is not fully resolved between Chechens and the Laks.
Now, the factors which led Chechnya to be in a situation in which they had to gain self-determination was that they were accused of suspicion of supporting the invading German army. Chechens were exiled to Kazakhstan as a result of this. However, they did not give up. And even though 30% of people of theirs were killed, they still stood proud in order to gain their self-determination.
And now, on to our next segment.
Hi, would you have a half-pound of corn husks, unsalted?
Gee, I'm sorry, sir, we don't.
Okay, how about some dried alfalfa squares?
Ooh, I'm afraid not. At Tim Hortons, we emphasize freshness and taste. You'll probably love our new oat bran muffins.
Real oat bran?
Uh-huh.
Wow, oat bran is particularly, tasty. I'll take a dozen. And maybe 1 jelly donut.
New oat bran muffins at your neighborhood Tim Hortons.
For those of you who don't know, Chechnya has been fighting for its independence since its separation from the Russian Federation since 1991.
What is independence? Well, independence is the freedom of control, influence, support, or aid from the like of others or another ruling power.
And now we'll go to Kyle with some information about how Chechnya achieved its self-determination.
Okay. Chechnya has achieved all... Oh my god.
All?
Yeah.
Try again.
Okay. Chechnya has achieved self-determination through the process of being a successor state.
Successor state is a theory in international relations regarding the recognition and acceptance of a newly created state by other states.
In 1991, Chechnya was internationally recognized by other states as a newly created country.
Chechnya would become a country on August 22nd, 1991. Except with the August coup and the dissolution of the Soviet Union, this event never occurred. An independence movement, initially known as the Chechen National Congress, was formed by ex-Soviet Air Force General and new Chechen President Dushovkar Dudayev.
Boris Yeltsin argued that Chechnya did not have the rights to declare themselves as their own nation. and this caused the territory to be locked in an ongoing struggle between various factions and the Russian government through the next decade.
Throughout the next decade, Chechnya has participated in 2 different wars. The second war is still going on at this present moment, but is locked in a ceasefire agreement with the Chechen police force in Russia.
Most countries in the world recognize Chechnya as a successor state, with Russia being the exception.
This newfound self-determination is negative for the country due to the fact that they've never since Chechnya declared independence, they've been locked in ongoing conflict with Russia.
Chechnya pursued self-determination due to the fact that they wanted to achieve their own statehood.
Chechnya wanted to become their own independent state from the Russian Federation and therefore declared their independence.
Nations pursue self-determination in order to achieve goals that benefit the entire nation. This is also the main factor behind Chechnya's strive for self-determination.
This has been News in Review for Chechnya. Thank you and good night.
What the hell are you doing?
We're leaving time for the credits, don't move. Perfect.
Okay, hold on a second.